pretty common for people to return to Dota 2 around the international time, so I figured it would be a good time to make a returning guide to Dota 2 to catch you guys up if you've been away for a while. So in this video, I'm going to be including things that are pretty recent updates, but also things that may have been new if you haven't been around for maybe a couple of years, focusing mostly on the basics to get you back into the game. Well, let's go. The first thing that you're probably going to notice is that the map has changed. There is a big difference in the map, so let's talk about them. The first thing you're going to notice is the map is probably quite a bit bigger. On the outside of each of the outer lanes, so top and bottom, you have jungle camps and other things to look at. The map has changed slightly on the inner side as well, but it's probably familiar if you've played in the last couple of years. However, you will also notice that Roshan has two pits now. There is a pit on the Dire corner and a pit on the Radiant corner as well. He will swap between these depending whether it is daytime or nighttime. If it's daytime, then Roshan will be on the bottom right corner on the Radiant side of the map. And if it is nighttime, he will be on the top left corner on the Dire side of the map. He moves between these with using the twin gates, which is these two things that you can see here. Players can also go through these gates to access the other side very quickly. You can use the twin gates as often as you like, whether you need to move to gank or to do a team fight or just to take on Roshan. Above the Radiant and below the Dire, you're going to notice on the edge of the map an extra ancient camp each and also a Tormentor. The Tormentor is a structure that you can defeat to give someone in your team a Aghanim shard. The way this works is it will look at the two lowest net worth heroes in your team and they will have a 50-50 chance at getting that when the Tormentor is defeated. The Tormentor is pretty difficult to defeat though, so you may need 2, 3, maybe even more heroes to do so, especially in the early game. Beside the Tormentor on each side of the map, you will also have a rune spawn point, which is going to spawn Wisdom runes. Wisdom runes have replaced the Tome of Knowledge if you've played since around that time. These will spawn every 7 minutes in game, and they give XP to the person who picks it up, and then the next lowest level hero on your team. So it's pretty common for a core to pick one of these up, and then the lowest level support will also gain the XP as well. However, keep in mind one spawns on each side of the map, so you can pick up the enemies as well, or the enemy can pick up yours. So grab these quick before the enemy has a chance to get them. That would be the majority of the map changes other than placement of trees and stuff, which you'll pick up throughout the game. If you have any questions about them, drop them in the comments and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Another important thing to know is that there's certain heroes in the game now that are no longer intelligence, agility, or strength heroes. They are called universal heroes. So you'll no longer get 10 damage for 10 intelligence, you will get 0.7 damage for every point of stat that you get. So if you get 10 stats across intelligence, agility, or strength, you're going to end up getting 7 damage from that. And you'll still get the benefits from strength increasing your health, agility increasing your armor and attack speed, and intelligence increasing your mana. You can find out which heroes are on here by looking in the heroes tab, but also you can probably expect any heroes that didn't seem to fit into any of the previous categories like really nicely, then they're probably going to be in here. For example, Void Spirit. This doesn't necessarily change too much about the actual hero type, but it does kind of free up which items work on heroes, and the builds for them have changed slightly as well. So it's worth checking these out. If your hero has become a universal hero, maybe check out if there's any new builds for that hero instead. I'm going to quickly interrupt the video to just say there's a huge percentage of you guys that watch all the videos but haven't clicked that subscribe button yet. If you want to support the channel a ton, nice and easily and free, then please do consider clicking the sub button, as I'll be posting content as regular as I can, and every subscriber helps an absolute ton. Thank you very much. Let's get back to the video. Another important thing for you guys to check out would likely be going over the neutral items. If you don't know what neutral items are, you've been gone from the game for a hell of a long time and you'll have a shock just like I did. You'll get items for killing neutral camps in the actual jungle, and you can use those items to buff your character. You'll get a token for each tier, and then you'll be able to activate that token for a random selection of neutral items that will benefit your hero. So what I would suggest you do is go into the learn category in the main menu and then go down to items and look at the neutral items tab. Spend a little bit of time having a quick read through these to see which ones would benefit your hero, and then grab those while you're in game. Certain items may be picked up in different situations in games. You're not going to always get the same ones offered to you, and you're also not going to always want to take the same ones depending on what it is. For anyone who hasn't heard of neutral items, they drop from the neutrals at 7 minutes for tier 1, tier 2 is at 17 minutes, tier 3 is at 27 minutes, tier 4 is at 37 minutes, and tier 5 is at 60 minutes. So once your game passes that time, then it is a good idea to get into the jungle, kill off some neutrals, and grab those upgrades for your team. For anyone who has seen the neutral items and has returned to the game, keep in mind that some of these have been buffed and nerfed, and then there's some completely new ones and some other ones have been removed as well, so it's still worth checking through these for any new ones that you didn't know about. So other than hero changes and hero buffs and nerfs, which you should check through in the actual update tab in the game, those would be the major changes that you want to refamiliarize yourself with if you haven't played since maybe the last international. However, for anyone who has been away a little bit longer than that, this part of the video is for you. We're going to quickly cover the picking phase and then the laning phase, so that when you get into picking, you're not confused and go, oh shit, wait, how do we actually lane now? So the way picking works is you will vote to ban one hero. You also vote to do this though, it doesn't always go through, and then a certain selection of heroes will be banned from picking in that game. This is a good way to get rid of anyone that you just really don't want to play against. For example, Tinkers. Tinker is a great one to ban. Ban freaking Tinker. Then the game will offer the picking round, where you'll get to pick 2 heroes on each team before they are revealed, and then you can pick the next 2 heroes, and then finally you'll pick your last hero so that you have all 5. This allows you to counter pick enemies that have picked already, and there tends to be a picking order of supports first, then your off lane and your carry, and then finally you'll pick your mid laner. This is usually the way to go. Someone can request that it is picked a different way, and if you're happy with that, then sure. However, just keep in mind that there is kind of like an unspoken rule that mid laner usually picks last, just because if you get counter picked on mid, you then can't really help your team, and then your team is not very happy with that, and it's just better to pick the mid laner last. You of course don't want to pick your carry first, because then if he gets hard countered, then his life's going to suck, and so you tend to pick the supports first. However, if you are one of the later picks, then always consider what is a good thing to pick, as you have the option to either counter the enemy or pick something that really fits into your team that your team does need. That being said, if your team picks the same hero during a round that the enemy picks, so for example, someone both picks Phantom Assassin on Radiant and then on Dire at the same time, then Phantom Assassin will be banned. Whatever hero gets picked at the same time from both teams will be banned as well, and so you'll have to then pick something else. Moving on to the laning phase, you are going to be looking at doing a 2-1-2. So 2 top lane, 1 mid lane, and 2 in the bottom lane. Jungle's dead, don't jungle. It's bad, don't jungle. It's just going to grief your team. It's not something you want to deal with. Things to keep an eye out for while you are laning is range creeps take priority in terms of making sure you secure the last hit, because these give more experience than the regular melee creeps do. So heroes will usually use abilities to secure these range creeps to make sure that you don't miss out on that big experience. Also, do your best to deny your range creeps so that the enemy also end up underleveled. Finally, for anyone who is returning from a long break, there is something called banner creeps. These will have a flag in the lane, and they'll also have like a circle around them, a bit of gold. Ensuring to secure the last hit on these, so using abilities again, is going to provide yourself and anybody around you with bonus gold for killing it. If you miss it, you won't get any bonus gold, so you want to make sure to get the last hit on these. They are very important on helping to boost your net worth. And there you go, those would be the major things that you want to keep an eye out for or learn about for if you're returning to Dota this international. If you haven't been around for a year, then you've just got the map update pretty much to look at, and everything else will seem pretty familiar. But if you haven't been around for years, a lot has changed in the game, so I hope this video does help with that a little bit. If you have any other questions about anything else, please do feel free to leave a comment, and I will answer them as soon as I get a chance. It'll probably be within the day though, so I'll keep an eye on it as much as I can. Other than that, I hope you found the video useful, and I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, then do consider leaving a like, and also do subscribe to the channel, as it's a pretty small one and I am planning on growing it quite a bit, releasing content pretty regular and trying to keep on top of it. And of course, the bigger the channel grows, the more I can spend time doing that. If you have any other suggestions for content you would like to see, leave them in the comments and I'll get to work. But otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.